The city presented in Alex Proyas's Dark City is not merely a setting, it is a character. It is a vast, sprawling organism of brick and shadow, a place where the sun is a forgotten myth. This urban expanse breathes with an artificial life, a construct designed to disorient and contain. Its inhabitants, human beings, live in a perpetual twilight, their memories as fluid and unreliable as the shifting architecture around them. They do not question the constant night. They do not question the sudden changes in their lives, their jobs, their very identities. This is the ultimate as within, so without nightmare made manifest, a physical representation of an internal spiritual imprisonment. The city is a mirror reflecting a broken, manipulated psyche. The very fabric of this reality is suspect. It is an inversion, a carefully crafted counterfeit. The natural order, the divine blueprint, if such a thing ever touched this place, has been subverted. Here, darkness reigns supreme, not as a natural counterpart to light, but as an oppressive totality. The city operates on a logic dictated by unseen masters, a logic that serves their alien purposes, not the well-being or evolution of its human cattle. What should be pathways to understanding become corridors of confusion. What should be foundations of identity become shifting sands of implanted experience. The city is a testament to a grand deception, a world built not by a benevolent creator, but by something else entirely. Something that feeds on the absence of truth. From a Gnostic perspective, Dark City is the kenoma, the void, the illusory realm created by lesser, ignorant or malevolent beings. It stands in stark contrast to the pleroma, the fullness of true divine reality. The inhabitants are trapped souls, unaware of their divine spark, their memories and experiences curated to keep them docile and predictable. The semiotics of the city scream of this entrapment. Every towering Gothic structure, every darkened alleyway, every flickering gas lamp signifies a layer of the illusion. The symbols are not of liberation but of intricate control, a meticulously designed prison for the human consciousness, where the true self is buried deep beneath layers of artificiality. The nightmare quality is amplified by the cyclical nature of the city's existence. Time itself is a tool of the oppressors, rewound and reset, ensuring that no true progress, no lasting accumulation of genuine experience can occur for the majority. Each tuning, each rearrangement of the city and its inhabitants reinforces the artificiality. It is a grand, terrifying experiment in which human beings are the unwilling subjects, their lives mere variables in an alien equation. The city is not a home, it is a laboratory, a stage for a play written by mad gods, where the lines are fed and the actors are unaware they are even performing. The internal landscape of fear and confusion finds its perfect external correlative in the urban sprawl. The strangers, the pale, bald figures in their long dark coats, are the architects of this suffering. They are the puppeteers. Their methodology is precise, chillingly scientific, yet utterly devoid of empathy. They are beings from another place, another state of existence perhaps, parasitic in nature. They require something from humanity, something vital. And they have constructed this elaborate prison to extract it. Their primary tool is the tuning, a collective psychic power that allows them to stop time, rearrange the city and, most crucially, imprint new memories and identities onto the human subjects. They are the demiurges of this dark world, shaping reality to their whim. Their purpose in weaponizing suffering is multifaceted. They seem to be studying humanity, trying to understand the soul, or perhaps what makes individuals unique. They mix and match identities, socio-economic statuses and personal histories, observing the results. The trauma implanted, false memories of loss, betrayal or despair, serves to create specific emotional responses, which they then appear to harvest. It is as if human emotion, particularly that born of suffering, is a resource, a form of energy they consume or analyze. They are emotion vampires, feasting on the very essence of what it means to be human, yet never truly understanding it themselves. Their experiments are a grotesque parody of creation. The strangers operate with a hive mind mentality, their individual identities subsumed into a collective consciousness. This collective will is what powers the tuning, the immense psychic effort required to maintain the illusion. They are emotionless, or so it appears, their faces rarely betraying any feeling beyond a cold curiosity or a flicker of frustration when their experiments go awry. This lack of individual expression makes them all the more terrifying. They are a unified, implacable force, their motives inscrutable to their victims. They are the ultimate other, their alienness underscored by their physical appearance and their methodical, detached cruelty. They are the wardens of a prison they themselves may not fully comprehend. The parallels to earthly traumas, both individual and collective, are stark. The Stranger's methods echo the ways in which power structures can manipulate populations through fear, misinformation, and the rewriting of history. Suffering in their hands is not a catalyst for growth or empathy, but a tool for control, a means to break the spirit and ensure compliance. They engineer scenarios designed to elicit specific responses, much like propaganda or psychological operations. The city's inhabitants are perpetually disempowered, their agency stripped away by beings who treat their lives as disposable data points in a grand, horrific experiment. The Strangers are the ultimate gaslighters, making everyone doubt their own sanity. In any system of belief that posits a divine order, certain archetypes stand as pillars of truth and creation. Light, consciousness, free will, authentic memory. These are the hallmarks of a benevolent cosmos. In Dark City, these sacred principles are not merely absent, they are actively inverted, corrupted by the demiurgic strangers. The true light of the sun, a symbol of enlightenment and life, is replaced by an oppressive perpetual darkness, punctuated only by the artificial glow of the city. Consciousness is suppressed, clouded by implanted narratives and synthetic experiences. The citizens are asleep, walking through a dream they cannot recognize as such. The Strangers themselves are a perversion of the creator archetype. Where a divine creator might foster growth and individuation, the Strangers enforce conformity and control. They are not interested in the unique spark within each human, but in the commonalities, the predictable reactions to stimuli. They are the Gnostic Demiurge, a flawed, ignorant, or malevolent lesser deity that has trapped spirit in matter, creating a flawed imitation of a higher reality. Their city is a testament to their limited understanding, a machine built to replicate a soul they cannot grasp. Their power is not of true creation, but of manipulation and rearrangement of existing elements, a sterile imitation of divine artistry. Free will, the cornerstone of human dignity and spiritual evolution, is systematically denied. The inhabitants of Dark City believe they are making choices, living lives of their own volition. Yet their paths are predetermined by the Stranger's experiments. New lives, new relationships, new professions are assigned nightly. This eradication of choice transforms humans into automatons, puppets dancing on strings they cannot see. The divine principle of self-determination is replaced by an alien script. The very notion of an authentic self is undermined when memories, the building blocks of identity, are fabricated and interchangeable. Who are you if your past is a lie? The sacred journey of the soul, often depicted as a path towards enlightenment or union with the divine, is here inverted into a cyclical labyrinth of suffering and forgetting. There is no progress, only repetition. The Strangers do not offer Gnosis or liberation. They offer only another iteration of the experiment. The divine spark within each human is smothered, its potential for awakening actively thwarted. The city becomes a place where the soul is not nurtured, but systematically broken down and analyzed. Its components studied like a captured insect. The archetypal quest for meaning is rendered futile in a world where meaning itself is an artificial implant. The Shell Beach postcard serves as a potent and multifaceted symbol within the bleak confines of Dark City. It is more than just a picture of a sun-drenched coastline. It is a whisper of another reality, a fragment of a dream in a world of perpetual night. For John Murdoch, and perhaps for others who vaguely recall it, Shell Beach represents hope, escape, and the memory of warmth and light sensations entirely alien to their current existence. It is a symbol of the pleroma, the fullness of being, the lost paradise that Gnostic thought suggests humanity has forgotten. Its persistent, albeit elusive presence in the minds of some characters signifies an unquenchable human yearning for something more. This postcard, however, is also a key element of the Stranger's control. Is it a genuine, albeit inaccessible memory from a pre-capture existence? Or is it another, more subtle implant, a carefully curated piece of false hope designed to pacify? or perhaps to act as a control variable in their experiments. Its mass-produced nature suggests the latter. If everyone has a faint, manufactured longing for Shell Beach, it becomes a shared illusion, a collective sigh for a place that, within the confines of the experiment, does not exist. It is a cruel mirage, always sought, never reached, keeping the desire for escape alive, but ultimately contained within the system. The semiotics of Shell Beach are deeply Gnostic. It is the ideal, the place where the sun shines, a stark contrast to the shadowy prison city. The desire to reach Shell Beach is akin to the soul's yearning for liberation from the material world and reunion with the divine. Yet, in Dark City, this yearning is manipulated. The strangers might allow this symbol to persist because a populace entirely without hope might become completely inert, useless for their studies. Or perhaps it is a flaw in their programming, a genuine echo of a truth they cannot fully erase. The ambiguity of its origin makes it all the more powerful as a narrative device. Ultimately, Shell Beach is the catalyst that drives Murdoch. It is not just a place, but an idea. The idea that this reality is not all there is. It is the crack in the prison wall, the anomaly that allows doubt and therefore consciousness to seep in. The postcard is a tangible link to an intangible desire, a symbol of a truth that Murdoch must uncover or create. It represents the possibility that the as within, so without principle can be reversed. If the inner world can be reconfigured by truth, then the outer world might follow. Shell Beach is the destination, real or imagined, that fuels the Gnostic quest for knowledge and escape. The psychic machinery. Trauma implants and the harvest of souls. The control mechanisms employed by the strangers are insidious, operating on the deepest levels of the human psyche. Central to their methodology are trauma implants. These are not mere adjustments of circumstance, but the direct injection of painful memories, false histories of loss, betrayal, and despair. By fabricating trauma, the strangers can study human reactions to extreme emotional distress, seeking to understand the essence of individuality, or perhaps the soul itself. This manufactured suffering keeps the populace disoriented, emotionally vulnerable, and less likely to question the inconsistencies of their environment. A mind preoccupied with its own, false grief has little energy left for rebellion. Projection harvesting is another key aspect of their psychic machinery. It appears the strangers feed off, or at least collect, the emotional and psychic energy generated by their human subjects, particularly the potent energies released during moments of intense experience, often the very traumas they have implanted. The city acts as a vast psychic farm. The nightly tuning is not just a reset, but also, potentially, a harvest time. The strangers, being a dying race or entities lacking something fundamental, may require this harvested human essence for their own survival or to continue their existence. The humans are, in effect, psychic batteries, their experiences converted into fuel. These mechanisms create an intricate energy loop that sustains the stranger's power and the illusion of the city. Implanted trauma generates specific emotional output. This output is harvested by the strangers, providing them with the necessary energy or data to continue their experiments and maintain control over the city and its inhabitants. The cycle is self-perpetuating. Control leads to suffering. Suffering provides energy, and that energy reinforces control. This closed loop ensures the stability of the prison, preventing any organic evolution or widespread awakening among the human population. It is a system designed for stasis, for perpetual exploitation. The parallels to control systems in our own world are unnervingly clear. Consider how narratives of fear and crisis are used to manage populations, how media can implant ideas and shape perceptions of reality. The constant barrage of curated information, the stoking of anxieties, the creation of us versus them scenarios. These can be seen as analogous to the stranger's trauma implants, designed to elicit predictable responses and maintain existing power structures. The harvesting of attention and emotional engagement in the digital age also bears a resemblance to the stranger's methods, where human experience becomes a commodity. The psychic prison has many forms. John Murdoch's unveiling. The genesis of Gnosis in darkness. John Murdoch's awakening is not a sudden epiphany, but a gradual, terrifying process of disorientation. He wakes in a strange hotel room, a dead woman beside him, with no memory of who he is or how he got there. This amnesia, this blank slate, is ironically the first chink in the stranger's armor. Unlike the other citizens who passively accept their implanted lives, Murdoch's slate is too blank, the imprint incomplete due to an interruption in his tuning by Dr. Schreiber. This malfunction allows him to perceive the inconsistencies, the seams in the fabricated reality. He becomes an anomaly, a question mark in a world of programmed answers. His journey begins with a desperate search for identity, for any anchor in the swirling chaos of his non-memory. He is an outsider, not by choice, but by a glitch in the system. This outsider status grants him a unique perspective. He sees the city and its inhabitants with fresh eyes, unclouded by years of conditioning or layers of false memories. He notices the abrupt halts in activity, the way people freeze when the strangers conduct their nightly tunings. He begins to realize that he is different, that he possesses abilities, a nascent form of the stranger's own psychokinesis, that others do not. This is the genesis of his gnosis, his knowing. The concept of shadow alchemy becomes relevant here. Murdoch must confront not only the external threat of the strangers, but also the internal darkness of the identity they attempted to impose upon him, that of a murderer. He grapples with the possibility that he is a killer, integrating this terrifying potential rather than simply rejecting it. This integration is crucial. By acknowledging the darkness implanted within him, he begins to understand the nature of the stranger's manipulations and, paradoxically, gains power over them. He learns to control his own abilities by first confronting the ugliest parts of his manufactured self, the shadow aspects. Murdoch's initial steps are faltering, driven by fear and confusion, yet with each unsettling discovery, the identical postcards, Dr. Schreiber's hesitant revelations, his own burgeoning powers, his resolve strengthens. He is piecing together the puzzle of his existence, and by extension, the true nature of the city. He is the Gnostic seeker, actively pursuing forbidden knowledge, challenging the authority of the ignorant demiurges. His awakening is not just a personal quest for memory, but the beginning of a rebellion against the very fabric of a false reality, a spark of true consciousness in an ocean of induced slumber. The Gnostic escape. Reclaiming the mind. Murdoch's journey intensifies as he moves from passive victim to active agent. His Gnostic escape is not a physical departure from the city, at least not initially, but a profound reclaiming of his own mind and perception. He learns from Dr. Schreiber, the compromised scientist, about the strangers, their methods and their weaknesses. Schreiber, a figure akin to a reluctant Gnostic informant, provides Murdoch with crucial pieces of the puzzle, explaining the collective nature of the strangers and their reliance on physical hosts. This knowledge empowers Murdoch, transforming his fear into focused intent. He realizes that understanding the enemy is the first step to defeating them. The integration of his shadow, the implanted memories and persona of a killer, is pivotal. Instead of being defined or destroyed by this artificial darkness, Murdoch transmutes it. He harnesses the aggression and survival instinct associated with the killer archetype, but directs it towards liberation rather than destruction. This is a form of shadow alchemy, taking the base materials of a corrupted identity and transforming them into a source of strength. He doesn't become the killer the strangers intended, but he uses the imprint's raw energy to fuel his fight. He accepts all parts of his experience, even the false ones, to forge a new authentic self. His powers, his ability to tune like the strangers, grow as his understanding deepens. This signifies the core Gnostic belief that true power comes from within, from Gnosis, direct experiential knowledge. Murdoch learns to reshape reality not by copying the strangers' methods of imposition, but by understanding the underlying principles they exploit. He becomes a rival creator capable of challenging their dominion over the physical and mental landscape of the city. His confrontations with the strangers are battles of will, psychic duels where the currency is belief and the control of perception. He's fighting for the right to an authentic reality. The ultimate Gnostic escape hatch is the realization that the stranger's power, while immense, is predicated on the ignorance and passivity of their subjects. By awakening, by achieving Gnosis, Murdoch breaks their hold. He demonstrates that an individual human, once aware of their true potential and the nature of the illusion, can match and even surpass the collective might of the Archons. His journey is a testament to the indomitable nature of the human spirit, or the divine spark within, which, once kindled, can illuminate even the darkest of prisons and begin to dismantle its walls from the inside out. Echoes in the Machine. Dark City's reflection in our contemporary maze. The themes explored resonate with unsettling clarity in our contemporary world. The stranger's practice of nightly tuning, where memories are erased and new narratives implanted, finds a disturbing parallel in the way media, both mainstream and social, can reset truths and shape public perception almost overnight. Narratives shift, historical events are reinterpreted or forgotten, and new enemies or crises are manufactured to direct collective attention and emotion. The city's inhabitants, unthinkingly accepting their new roles and histories, mirror a populace often swayed by the latest information cycle, their understanding of reality subtly or sometimes drastically reconfigured. Social engineering through trauma, a core methodology of the strangers, is not an alien concept. Our societies are frequently subjected to narratives of fear, division, and crisis. These can be exploited to justify increased control, surveillance, or the erosion of individual liberties. Collective traumas, whether real or amplified, can be used to create a sense of dependency and to suppress dissent. The constant bombardment of negative news, the cultivation of anxiety about the future, the pitting of groups against each other, these mechanisms can create a psychic environment not unlike the oppressive atmosphere of Dark City, where individuals feel powerless and disconnected from any authentic sense of agency or community. The concept of projection harvest also finds echoes. In an attention economy, human emotional responses, engagement, and personal data have become immensely valuable commodities. We willingly offer our psychic energy to platforms and systems that are, in many ways, designed to capture and monetize it. The outrage, the joy, the fear, all are tracked, analyzed, and used to refine the methods of engagement, creating feedback loops that can be just as captivating and reality-defining as the stranger's experiments. We are, in a sense, constantly tuning our own realities through the information we consume and the emotional responses we allow ourselves to be drawn into. The cyclical nature of life in Dark City, where progress is an illusion and the past is constantly rewritten, can be seen in the recurring patterns of history and the manipulation of collective memory. Amnesia about past mistakes, or the deliberate obscuring of them, allows for their repetition. The Gnostic struggle for remembrance, for true history, against a fabricated narrative, is an ongoing battle in our own world. The fight to discern truth from sophisticated deception, to awaken from a comfortable or terrifying illusion, is as relevant now as it was in the shadowy streets John Murdoch navigated. The machine is vast, its mechanisms subtle, but the call to awareness persists. The final tuning. From fractured illusion to divine artifact. John Murdoch's ultimate realization transcends merely understanding the stranger's mechanics. He grasps the fundamental nature of the illusion itself. He sees that the fracture, the separation between the self and truth, between humanity and its potential, is not an inherent condition, but an imposed one. The prison walls are built of belief, or rather disbelief in one's own power and the validity of one's own perception. The stranger's dominion relies on this manufactured ignorance. Once Murdoch achieves true Gnosis, understanding that he too can shape reality with his mind, their power structure begins to crumble. He sees the strings and therefore he can cut them. His final confrontation with the strangers is not just a battle of psychic force, but a clash of cosmologies. The strangers represent a dying parasitic order, reliant on control and harvested energy. Murdoch, now fully awakened, embodies the potential for organic creation, for a reality based on genuine experience and individual will. He doesn't just defeat them, he exposes the hollowness of their power, revealing that their control was contingent on their victims' unawareness. The illusion shatters when confronted by a consciousness that refuses to be contained by it. He learns their methods and surpasses them by adding an element they lack, a connection to something authentic. The transformation of the city is the ultimate as within, so without made positive. Having reconfigured his inner world through Gnosis and the integration of his shadow, Murdoch now reconfigures the outer world. He floods the perpetual night with sunlight, a symbolic and literal act of bringing enlightenment. He creates the real Shell Beach, not as a distant memory or a manipulative postcard, but as a tangible reality. The city, once a demiurgic prison, a machine for suffering, begins to transform under his influence into a divine artifact, a canvas for new possibilities, a place where true life can finally begin. Murdoch becomes the benevolent creator, the true Gnostic adept who has not only escaped the corrupt material realm but has also redeemed it. He does not seek to control its new inhabitants, but to provide them with a world where authentic experience and genuine memory can flourish. The cyclical nightmare is broken, replaced by the linear potential for growth and discovery. His journey completes the Gnostic arcs, from ignorance and enslavement within the illusion, through painful awakening and the acquisition of knowledge, to ultimate liberation and the power to reshape reality in accordance with a higher, more authentic pattern. The city under his gaze is no longer dark.